course, Brandon is a very busy man. Can we see that? I think we've got that live. I'm here, of course, with Brandon Straka, the founder of #WalkAway. How are you, Brandon?
Good. You snuck up on me over there.
Snuck up on you, absolutely. Well, we've also, you see, this always happens right before we begin. There we go. So we've got now 2 views of you, Brandon.
Okay.
And I remembered to bring the stabilizer this time.
I love it.
So that's good.
But you also brought the rain.
I know. You know what? All day it was saying it wasn't going to rain, and then now, of course, we get here to the park, and it rains.
Yeah.
So, Brandon, there's been a really upsetting situation in your life since the last time you and I spoke.
Oh, there have been several. Which one are you referring to?
Well, the only one that I was aware of was that Facebook basically said F you to you.
They did. They did.
Tell us what happened.
Well, first they said F you to Alex Jones.
Yes.
And that's where it all begins.
Right.
So, I'm this fall. I'm doing the WalkAway. This fall, next month, I'm doing the WalkAway March on Washington. So it's October 26th to the 28th weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so obviously I've been discussing this regularly with the people in my group. We're trying to raise all the funding for it ourselves. It's about $500,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It is a lot, but it's a great weekend. I mean, we're doing like a gala dinner Friday night. We're doing a march and rally on Saturday, and then we're doing a closing brunch Sunday. We're going to have really amazing speakers there. It's going to be a fantastic, like, first-class event.
Nice.
Yeah. And we're doing just fine, frankly. I mean, we're raising the money, we're doing well, we're organizing, it's good. But the point is that being able to communicate with my group is crucial. I mean, it's key. This is not the time for me to not be able to communicate with my group. So I'm doing a lot of media surrounding this event, and I do understand, I guess I'll go on record as saying that Alex Jones is a polarizing figure. I understand that he's very controversial, that people have mixed emotions about him.
Right.
And despite what anyone may think, he has been deplatformed. So he's not on Facebook, he's not on Twitter, he's not on YouTube. He just has his website at this point.
Right.
Now, when I do media of any kind, pertaining to the WalkAway campaign or pertaining to the march that's coming up, I always alert the Patriots in the group. I always say, whether it's a radio show, whether it's a podcast, whether it's Fox News, they love to listen, they love to watch, they love to be a part of it.
I think people like to see someone who was on the liberal side, who saw something was going wrong, who's changed his opinion.
Right. Well, and I mean, we've built this WalkAway campaign from the ground up. I mean, there was a time when there was one member of the WalkAway campaign, that was me. Yeah. And it wasn't so long ago. I mean, that was just a few months ago. But it's
amazing.
Like, yeah, we have all built this thing together. I mean, it's a group effort, and so I think that they love to interact with me and support me by being a part of these different media things that I do. They love to participate. So on Monday, I went in my group and I said, "Hey, Patriots, I'm going live on InfoWars in 15 minutes. Be sure to tune in." So I did the interview. 2 days later, 2 full days later, Wednesday, I got on Facebook, I opened it, and I had a message waiting for me when I opened my Facebook account, which was, "You have engaged in conduct that violates our standards, whatever." And then they had a little screenshot, and they just simply isolated the word Infowars.com.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Now, I thought nothing of it, because that's all that was on that screen. It had a button that said continue, so I thought, okay, so I violated their, who cares? So I clicked continue, and then the next screen is where it said, "And you've been banned for 30 days. You may not post, you cannot message, essentially your account is active, but you can't use it whatsoever." Now, that means anything associated with my account as well. So I can't use the WalkAway campaign. I can't use my Facebook persona, which is the Unsilent Minority, which is essentially my public figure page.
Right.
I can't communicate with anybody. And
for simply typing the word InfoWars into Facebook, I want that to sink in for people.
I know.
Because this is like literally thought police. You just said InfoWars.
Yeah.
You're being punished. That is absurd.
This is what's so remarkable about it is
I wasn't even... Let me ask you a question. Because I get messages from people on Twitter, on YouTube, on Facebook, calling me all kinds of hateful things, and I report it and nothing happens. Here, you mention InfoWars, and you've got a 30-day ban at a critical time.
Yeah.
We're about to get rained on, but I have come prepared for that, Brandon. Please carry on.
No problem.
So you've been effectively banned from Facebook.
This is a remarkable setup. Yeah, I've been. Well, no, I not essentially. I mean, I was banned on Facebook, and this is devastating. You know, for my ability to be able to plan and execute this march, to do the fundraising.
I think they know that.
Oh, I think they know that too. I mean, I don't believe that every person who types in the word Infowars is being banned for 30 days. I mean,
we'll find out after this interview.
Yeah, that's. I actually I went back on Infowars because I'm not afraid. And I talked about that, and they said it would be a fun experiment for everybody to go on Facebook right now and type in the word Infowars and see who gets banned. And yeah, if they just shut down the whole internet or what. But no, I mean, I think it was very strategic on their part. I think that they, you know, on the one hand, it's like, it's absurd that you can be that even could be a thing, that you could be banned.
This is America.
Yeah, it is.
You type the word Infowars, and they're shutting you down.
And I wasn't even expressing an opinion. That's the thing. I wasn't expressing anything controversial about abortion or immigration, but I was literally promoting an interview that I was about to do. It wasn't an opinion. Yeah, it was just using a word.
That's shocking.
That they have decided
dangerous
may not be used.
That's really crazy. I just messed up our audio. Hang on 1 second. It's a slightly fragile circumstance out here on these portable setups, but I still like doing it because we're here in New York. I did not expect it to rain. This is really shocking. I think even if people dislike Alex Jones, even if people dislike #walkaway,
right,
they have to be very concerned about this.
Right.
You didn't say so-and-so is a this or that. You didn't use foul language.
Right.
You didn't spread false rumors about people engaging in criminal activity. These are things I see happening all day,
right,
about me.
Yeah.
I imagine you've been smeared as well.
Yeah.
And no one's shutting those guys down for 30 days. You could have been going on to Infowars to tell Alex Jones you don't approve of what he's doing.
That's what I said. I mean, it was like, how did they know that I'm not going on there to gloat that he had been deplatformed, or to tell him that I think he's a jackass? I mean, they don't know. And
right.
But I mean, it just goes to show too, I think, how liberalism itself is just becoming more and more and more extreme, and how it's more
Nazism.
and more yeah. Because even if you go back to the beginning of Facebook. I started using Facebook, I think, 10 years ago, like 2007, 2008,
yep.
And I don't think they've ever banned the Westboro Baptist Church or anything, you know, who are like, they're God hates fags, they're always on there.
That's what I'm saying. People saying hateful things,
yeah.
Nothing happens.
Yeah, and you would think them being as liberal as they are, like that would be, you know, but back then I think that they were more open to letting people express themselves. Now using the word Infowars is, and I mean, how many times a day do I look at my news feed and see our president compared to Hitler?
I know.
You know, but it's like the name Alex Jones is more of a threat than Adolf Hitler now, you know?
Well, and you raise a good point, because you know what? Although I fundamentally disagree with whoever it is that's saying God hates, you know, fags and all that, we do need to allow Nazis to have the Nazi channel.
Right.
And people who want to say whatever they want to say about that to have that channel.
Right.
So that you and I and whoever else can tune in and say, you know what? These guys are morons. They're Nazis. They're hateful. They like to post terrible things on the internet, and now I'm aware that that's what they do. And guess what? If we lived in a country where the majority of people agreed with that, sadly, that's the direction it will go. And that's the direction it's going in. They're shutting down free speech.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. The last thing you said there is that it's become a self-fulfilling prophecy in a way that they are becoming the exact thing that they're trying to protect everybody from, because they themselves are becoming the fascist.
Yes.
You know, and in an effort to save us from fascists, they themselves have become fascists.
I think unless you directly threaten someone on Facebook, accuse them of a crime without evidence, or, you know, I just think you should be allowed to say, if they say, okay, there's no foul language, or they can have their community guidelines, but they're so arbitrary, it's really upsetting to me, because, you see, I don't know if did it again. I don't know if you're aware of this, Brandon, but there's a component of the Digital Millennium Copyright Act that allows, like, if someone calls you up on a Verizon phone and says, hey, something terrible.
Yeah.
You cannot sue Verizon for that person threatening you, stalking you, whatever. You could go take action against the person, but Verizon has nothing to do with it. They're just putting lines out there and people make phone calls.
Yeah.
Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, they have deflected lawsuits by relying on that same we're just the network thing. But there's an important difference going on. Verizon doesn't listen to your phone call and my phone call and say, well, Brandon's call can go through, but Jason's cannot. That makes them an editor of content. So if they say your message about InfoWars cannot go, but somebody else can say Jason's in Mossad or Jason's a Jew or Brandon's whatever they want to say about you, they're editing the content and they do take on a certain degree of responsibility for what's going out over their network in that case.
Yeah, they definitely are. And I think that anybody who supports this is a moron, because if you think just because today they're censoring the thing that you think deserves to be censored does not mean that tomorrow the thing that you want to talk about or you think that is necessary to talk about or important to talk about isn't on their list.
Right.
You know, and they're like, nope, not talking about that. This is how we feel about it.
It's total information lockdown.
Yeah.
So what did Alex Jones say to you about this? I like Alex, by the way, and I like InfoWars, and even if I didn't like InfoWars or what there's, I don't like everything he says. I think he's a little over the top, but the effort that he's making and the work that he's put in, you got to respect the guy. I mean, he started 20-something years ago on a public access radio show, and he's built a multi-million-dollar media empire that has billionaires and presidential candidates quaking in their boots.
Right. Well, I have to give the guy credit to a certain degree because I've gone on his show 3 or 4 times, and each time I feel that I feel very aware that he's gearing the interview towards me and the type of person I am and what I want to talk about, and I want to give him credit for that because there was one of the times I was interviewing with him. He started to go into one of his rabbit holes for a second. He's like, well, yeah, that's because, you know, the Chinese, well, they've always, you know, whatever. And then he kind of like looked up and saw me and he's like, never mind, I'm kind of ranting right now, you know, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, because I think he recognizes that's not really my brand. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not the guy who wants to go on there and like conspiracy theorize and get into the dirt and stuff. You know, I just want to like talk about the walkaway campaign, talk about culture and politics and things like that. And I think he's very respectful of that. And so with me, we just talk about walkaway. We just talk about the walkaway campaign. We talk about, you know, and he's like, honestly, he's been a total gentleman with me every time I've been on.
Yeah, it was nice when I met him too. I have no beef at all with Alex Jones, and I think it's a very serious matter that all of these gigantic technology companies are literally conspiring to shut him down and now they're shutting you down at a key moment when you're trying to rally support ahead of the election. They're really doing these sinister things to, I mean, it could be one, you know, member of the House that sways it one way or the other, or two, and they're just doing everything they can to do that. So while you're under this 30-day ban, where can people find information about the walkaway campaign?
Well, wait a minute. There's like a whole follow-up.
Oh, okay, sure.
I don't know if you're aware of
it. Hit me with that. I don't know about it.
It gets so much better.
Whoa.
So they enacted the 30-day ban on Wednesday. So immediately after I tweeted out about this, I started getting contacted by media saying that they wanted to talk about it. I did probably 4 or 5 interviews on Wednesday, and then I booked 12 interviews for Thursday.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot. Starting in the morning. So I spent all day Thursday doing like back-to-back media, which, by the way, bear in mind too, I was scrambling in between interviews with my team to try to figure out what the hell we were going to do. Wow. So like Thursday was like a jam-packed day for me.
I'm sure.
So by the end of Thursday evening, I finally had a chance to kind of look at my phone, and I'm going through my text messages. And I have a text message from a reporter, a very liberal reporter from The Observer. And he said to me, Brandon, Facebook got in contact with me and told me they lifted your ban. Why are you lying and continuing the narrative that you are banned when you are not? And I thought,
why would they get in contact with him and not you?
What a wonderful, you're the journalist. Yeah. So I thought, what? So I open up Facebook and sure enough, the ban is gone.
Ah.
Are we still?
Yeah, we're good on this one. The ban was gone.
The ban is gone. I'm able to access my account. But guess what? It was too late because that journalist had already put out a hit piece saying that I lied about the ban, and that I, like Diamond and Silk and so many other conservative celebrities,
Making it up.
were making it up to jump on this bandwagon of fake oppression that the conservative community is claiming in the social media arena. Now, mind you, Facebook acknowledges that they did the ban. They said it to him. They've openly acknowledged, we banned him, but it was a mistake. It was an algorithm mistake. The algorithm accidentally found the word Infowars and banned me. And so, and then they claim that they corrected the mistake and that they apologized to me, which is not true.
Not true. So, okay, so you're currently banned or you're not banned?
I'm not banned now.
Oh,
no.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. Read The Observer. Like, that's how you find out.
Wow.
If you find out if the ban is lifted by reading a liberal publication and finding out about your own life.
So I don't understand, why would Facebook contact The Observer to tell them what's happening with your account and not contact you? Did they email you, or that's...
No, I went back and looked. Because I had a feeling that they didn't. And first of all, by the way, I was just so pissed at that point, because I was like, if they're going to actually contact a reporter, then they should call me. I mean, not that I expect Facebook to actually call me, but like, you can't just like send me an email, but call a reporter, you know?
Did he say they called him?
He didn't say they called, he said contacted. He said contacted.
But even so, why would they contact? That's so absurd.
Yeah.
I mean, it does literally seem, I mean, we can't say for sure, but it certainly seems like they're setting you up to look stupid.
It does seem that way, yeah. But I went back and I checked all my email accounts. I have not gotten an email from Facebook saying, we've made a mistake, we apologize. No.
Do you have a message for Mark Zuckerberg?
Do I have a message for Mark Zuckerberg? I actually don't really. Just that I hope that a new competitive platform comes out soon and puts you under.
Yeah.
That's it.
These guys have taken such control, you know? I mean, everyone thought this was great, everything's free, it's just going to be ads on there, but we now see that I don't believe that the advertising on Facebook was sufficient. I mean, of course, it was propped up by investors before they ever even had advertising. But what if they had this plan all along? It's like the heroin dealer business model, where once you're hooked, now they control you. They can shut out what you can see, what you can't see, and they really can control the narrative. And they're still seething over the victory of Donald Trump.
Still, yes.
Doing everything they can possibly do to just kneecap his presidency, which, how does that help?
Well, and just as we said earlier about how, in an effort to fight fascists, they themselves have become fascists. Like, in an effort to propel this narrative of election meddling, they're totally meddling. Yeah, they're completely meddling in the political process entirely.
Yes.
I mean, hugely. I mean, to take one side and completely take their voice and their ability to, you know, campaign or interact with or share ideas.
It's really wrong.
Yeah, it's really wrong.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
So you're going to be on with Diamond and Silk tonight.
I am.
How can people see you with that?
Well, I think Diamond and Silk are on YouTube and Facebook.
Oh, they are?
So, yeah, so go. They haven't been...
Because I thought they were banned. They were in
God,
Congress.
it's hard to keep up with. I think that they're back on Facebook. But they definitely are, I think, facing suppression. I think that's the main issue, is that because they have like 1.5 million followers.
Right.
And their videos now get like a couple thousand views. So it's, you know, that's the other thing too, is that when they do these suppression tactics, it's so not subtle. And that's happened to me before too. I mean, I've literally gone from posting things that get 20,000 views to suddenly I post things and it's like, the other day I posted, I have my own show now, let me tell everybody. Monday nights, it's tonight.
And where do people see that?
YouTube and Facebook. My Facebook page is The Unsilent Minority. That's at US Minority is my handle, at US Minority.
Okay.
And YouTube is youtube.com/US Minority.
Okay.
That's my YouTube channel. But my show is kind of, I mean, I have to say, it's kind of awesome. I've had like big hitter guests so far. I did Dinesh D'Souza 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
I did Roseanne last week.
Wow.
I know. And tonight I have Antonio Sabato Jr.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but get this. So I go on my Facebook page where I have 86,000 followers.
Wow.
Right now. And I post...
But wait, you had many more before, didn't you?
No, that's the Walkway campaign has 180 plus thousand now. That's the Walkway campaign. But my personal or public Facebook page, the Unsilent Minority, has about, I think, 86,000 followers. So I posted that I'm interviewing Antonio Sabato Jr. Yesterday I posted this. 2 comments. 2 comments on that post.
I'm sorry.
Out of 88,000 people.
Doesn't make sense.
No.
Does it make sense?
So give me a break.
Even if you had no followers, that guy is well known enough that you would think a couple dozen, 10, 20, 100 people would say, like it.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's that's what I'm saying. It's not even subtle. I mean, it's completely blatantly obvious that this happens.
So, will you go speak to Congress about censorship and suppression of your civil rights?
I would gladly do that.
Yeah,
I would gladly do that.
They do a lot of yapping there in Congress, but they don't seem to be doing much of anything as far as having an impact on this suppression of social media. I'm really upset by this, Brandon. I mean, this is an outrageous abuse, and no one cares, because if you support Donald Trump or if you are remotely conservative, it seems to be okay to call you names and suppress your information and shut you out. I mean, you know what? I think this is going to explode in their faces.
I do too. But I wouldn't. I'm going to push back on you when you say nobody cares, because I think what you're saying is that no one on the left cares. But people on the right are. I felt it with what happened to me. They are reaching a boiling point with this. I'm telling you, I felt it, because it was brilliant in a way that it happened to me, and that it happened in the way that it happened, because in my public persona, I am not a provocateur. I am not controversial. I just don't do that. It's like there's enough gay provocateur conservatives. Like, I don't need to be another one in the fold. And I like to be an original. Right. So it's like I just don't do that. I kind of keep my information more like straightforward. I like to go do like kind of in-depth emotional conversations with people. That's what I like to do. So for them to ban somebody who has really no controversial image surrounding them whatsoever, I don't say outrageous things. I don't even really discuss provocative opinions so much, and the fact that I wasn't expressing an opinion whatsoever, I was saying a word. Right. I was saying a word. So when this happened to me, and that it happened over something so bizarre as repeating a word, which is it's a name. It's a name. So to not be able to use a proper noun.
This is a glimpse into an Orwellian future that should scare the crap out of everyone.
And I think it has. And I'm telling you, I felt the pressure when I released this on Twitter. It was, there was just like, I could feel it. I was like, something just shifted. I felt it, because it was like, people were like, we're done with it. Like, it was bad enough with Diamond and Silk and Alex Jones and just like all these other conservative people, David Harris Jr., all these different people that are experiencing like this, they're crippling people's ability to speak and to monetize their product. And that's like puts people out of work.
Exactly.
And I really think that conservatives at this point are not going to take it anymore, which makes it worth it. Because frankly, what happened to me is not the end of the world. I got my account back. It was only 24 hours. It would have been the end of the world if it had been 30 days. It would have been the end of the Walkway March on Washington, and that would have been the end of the world to me. But I got my account back. I'm okay. But I think that the effect that it had on the conservative community is you can't take it back. You can't take it back.
No, you're right. So from that standpoint, it is kind of a blessing in disguise, because they've shown their hand. And you raise a good point. There's a lot of people who message me. I think at this point, most of the people sending these messages are just trolls trying to damage my financing campaign for Crowdsource the Truth. But, we cannot monetize a YouTube channel, because YouTube just says no advertisers are allowed on your video. And when that happens to every video, people want to see people like you, people like me, putting out videos, sharing interviews with different people that they are not getting on mainstream news. But you can't do it without cash flowing in.
That's right.
So I've gone to patreon.com, and we've got patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth. I don't know if you're using Patreon.
I am.
Okay, how can people find you on there?
Well, it's the Unsilent Minority. God, I should really have this answer on deck, but I think it's...
Search for that on
Search
Patreon.
for the Unsilent Minority on Patreon, And that's a good point, too, that I think both of us should be making, frankly, is that there's so much work that goes into creating even a 2-minute video that I put out. I think people don't understand. They're like, it's a 2-minute video. What's the big deal? I put out a 2-minute video last week that it took me about 72 hours to work on.
Yeah.
cutting, editing, sound editing. I mean,
even when you don't do that, just setting up the interviews, arranging the schedule, coming here, taking the time out of your day. This is your day, and when you plan it all day, it takes time.
It does.
The other thing that YouTube and Facebook have done is that by giving not only the viewing audience but the creators this free platform that is so robust, it's almost impossible for anyone to enter that market with a competitive product.
Right.
Because how can you compete with YouTube? It has so many viewers, it's such a destination, such a robust platform with live streaming and closed captions and totally free to upload hours and hours of HD video. It really is an anti-competitive business model that should be addressed.
Well, it should be addressed, and this is where I say again, we, I think as a conservative community, need to come together and support this idea together, because it's us who's being screwed, and you're right. I mean, right, because what I'm seeing happening right now is just like these people kind of scrambling, going, have you heard about Gab? Have you heard about MeWe? Have you heard about whatever? Have you heard? And like, no one's on the same page. And of course,
they just don't work as well either.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult for someone to enter that market.
We need to have a conservative Super Friends Summit.
Yes.
Where we all come together, and when we walk out of the Batcave, we're like, this is the new platform. You know what I mean?
Well, perhaps that can start at the Walkaway March in Washington, D.C. Give us the date again, and how can people find more information about that?
By the way, that's on my radar, what you just said. So on Friday, October 26th, that's when the weekend begins. I'm doing a gala dinner. I hope you come.
I will, yes.
Don't just say it.
I'm not just saying it.
I'm
making a note. I want to be there. I want to have
a
special interview. I'm not a liar.
You're going to come.
I'm going to go. Yes. It's going to be October 26th through
the 28th. Through the 28th.
28th.
Yeah, so it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Is there a particular hotel that you're holding it at, or it's all over the place?
Well, I'm hoping that hundreds of thousands of people come for the march, and so they're going to have to just stay wherever they stay. But Friday night, we're doing a gala dinner at Trump International.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're going to have, Dinesh is going to be speaking at that event, and we're working on getting Don Jr.
Amazing.
I can't say that, but we're working on it.
Sure.
And a couple other kind of big name speakers at that. One of the things I want to address at that dinner, because I'm looking at it as the Conservative Super Friends Summit at that dinner, I want to address the issue of censorship and social media and what we as a conservative community are going to do going forward at that dinner. I think it's a great format and a great venue to kind of have that conversation.
I agree with you.
Saturday is the march and the rally. We are marching we're meeting in the morning, marching from the DNC to our nation's capital. So we're walking away from the Democratic Party, and we're assembling at the Capitol building with that like stunning backdrop of the Capitol building where they've done the inaugurations. Again, we're going to have a full slate of speakers that day that are going to be incredible. And then on Sunday, we're doing the closing farewell brunch and then giving people the day to travel home. So that's Friday the 26th, Saturday the 27th, and Sunday the 28th.
That's very good. And does it cost, well, the dinner obviously must.
The dinner and the brunch will cost, and people can go to eventbrite.com. And for anyone who doesn't know, Bright is spelled B-R-I-T-E, eventbrite.com.
Right.
And you can pre-register. And we really encourage people to pre-register. And by the way, everything's a la carte. Yeah. If you can only come to the march and rally, awesome, which obviously is free.
Right.
And if you can come to the dinner, but you can't come to the march and rally, come to the dinner. If you can only come to brunch, come to brunch. But you can go on eventbrite.com, and we encourage people to register for any and all parts of it that they're able to come to, even if it's the march and rally, which is free, because that at least gives us a minimum head count.
Sure.
Which we expect will be fully inaccurate.
Yeah.
I mean, like if 5,000 people register, there'll probably be like 50,000 that show up. But at least we know 5,000 are coming.
It's going to be a huge event.
I hope so.
I really like this. This is a great idea, and it's needed. You're doing such. I mean, I'm amazed by you. You know what you've done here is phenomenal, and it's just sort of. You said in our last discussion, you could have never imagined that it was going to go this far. And I love it when they try to do something to stomp us down and they trip.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, they really, really messed with the wrong guy, because this is where I feel like, I've said many times that I feel like I'm the right person for the right job, that I kind of got placed at the right time. Yeah, because I have many, many years of experience in my life. Can I swear on your show?
Say whatever you want.
Okay. I have spent many, many years of my life getting the shit kicked out of me by employers, by life, by the city of New York, by the entertainment industry, by whatever. Like, I know what it is.
You mean figuratively?
Well, yeah, I'm saying I know what it is to fail again and again and again, but like I never quit. Like I never quit anything.
Then you haven't failed.
Yeah.
You see, failure is when you give up or die before you achieve your goal.
Right.
Not achieving it is not failure.
Yeah. But I think that, I mean, I honestly believe, I would love to meet a person, if there is such a person, who is more persistent than I am. I literally, even my friends will tell you I'm such a pain in the ass, because they're like, you just don't let go of anything. Like, once I get an idea in my head, I'm like that guy who will come home like just blood scratches, whatever, because it's just like, no, I needed to get that cheeseburger. Like, I had to, I wasn't going to quit until I got that, you know, and I don't quit, I don't give up, I don't, whatever. So, I mean, I think that if they think that like pulling these little tricks on me or whatever are gonna suppress me or stop me, or that the march that I'm gonna back down, like I'm not afraid of I'm not afraid of these people at all, and I'm not afraid, you know, and I'm just gonna charge ahead and I'm gonna do this, and I'll win. I'm gonna win.
I am 100% behind that, man. Absolutely. I mean, it's interesting to see what's going to happen, and this march is going to be absolutely huge. So, what time tonight are you going to be on Diamond and Silk?
So I'm doing Diamond and Silk at 8 o'clock, and then I'm doing my Eastern, and then I'm doing my own show at 10 p.m., and that's with Antonio Sabato Jr. tonight.
Great.
And I have this awesome girl. Magdalene Rose is her name. You guys look her up on Twitter. Magdalene Rose. She's an 18-year-old girl who she made a video on Twitter. And I'm telling you, this girl is so bright. I talked to her on the phone yesterday, and I just was smiling the whole time I was talking to her, because I was like, this girl is going to change the world. She is so brilliant about politics and social issues, and she's very concerned about her generation, the brainwashing, the socialism, you know, and she said she's been a conservative her whole life since she was like 12, you know, 13, which is amazing. And we're going to talk about that tonight. But she put a video out on Twitter this last week, really kind of like letting some of us conservatives have it, you know, because she was like, you know, a lot of you people who have a name in the conservative industry, you're not doing enough. She was like, you can laugh at David Hogg, you can make fun of David Hogg if you want to, but she's like, right now, he's registered like tens of thousands of young people to vote and encourage them to get out there and vote. And she was like, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? And I was kind of like, damn, you know, she's kind of got a point.
Well,
so I'm going to let her.
Making an effort. You're way out there more
I am,
than most.
but we can do more. And I'm going to have her on tonight, and she's going to let her elders know how we've screwed up and what we can do better, and she's going to let me have it. And cool, she's smart as a whip, and I can't wait to hear what she has to say. So you guys should tune in, because she's great.
Definitely.
And what was I going to say? YouTube, so that's tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern.
And give everybody the channel again. So.
Yeah, so I'm youtube.com/US Minority, and on Facebook, same thing. My public page is at US Minority.
And also, if people search for #WalkAway, I'm sure they'll find those things.
Oh yeah, they'll find like a whole onslaught of really flattering articles about me, because they put all the leftist articles at the top of Google. You know, so it's like if you type in #WalkAway or type in Bren and Strzok, you're gonna find like 2 pages of liar creates movement.
Wow.
Failed actor.
Wow.
Takes advantage of stupid Trump supporters. Yeah. It's just like, you know what I mean?
I do. It's really sad that this is what it's come to, that they're just pulling out all the stops to just totally overwhelm people with nonsense and lies.
Yeah.
It does hurt a little bit when people lie about you and make up stories, right?
No.
Oh.
I mean, I think it's kind of transparent. I sort of try to have fun with it. I think the only time it really hurts, or hurts isn't the word, the time when it bothers me is when they lie about things that I said or did that I didn't say or do.
Right.
I mean, I don't care if they call me a failed actor. I don't care if they call me a mediocre piece of shit human being. Like, I don't care about any of that. What I care about is when they mislead the people that I'm trying to get to follow by saying things like, we talked to him and he said blah, 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 and we didn't have a conversation. Or because they do that. Like, sometimes they'll make up conversations that never happened.
This is all they do.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That bothers me.
Me too.
That bothers me a lot. But the name calling I don't care about, and
But what they're trying to do is they're trying to craft a narrative. What I have observed is that what they'll do is they'll plant a seed, and they've got multiple outlets or multiple news. So they'll say, "Oh, the Observer says that Brandon is lying," and so now they're telling the truth. The Observer did say that.
Yes.
Right. Like someone will go out there and make a video and say, "Oh, I introduced Jason to Dr. Corsi, and Dr. Corsi is doing this and that."
Yeah.
And they get a whole bunch of people believing that that's what happened when it is not at all what happened.
Right.
I can tell they're setting something up.
Yeah.
That, you know, they get a certain number of people following that narrative and they suck them in with lies. Sometimes the lies are pretty innocuous, but they build them up, like you said, accuse you of saying something or quote you as having said something. And what's the saying? A lie can make its way around the world before the truth even has its shoes on.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Dr. Corsi also told me you can't fight propaganda with the truth. You have to discredit the source.
Yeah.
So what you're doing about this guy in the Observer, just by pointing out that it makes no sense whatsoever that Facebook would contact that guy without contacting you. We need to put some pressure on Facebook to demonstrate that they've contacted Brandon about that at all. Because it does seem to me like, what if, we're going to speculate for a moment, what if the Observer is one of these news outlets that is approved by Facebook, or Facebook can use in the way the New York Times uses BuzzFeed to put out some crap and start one of these stories going. It's like an alley-oop. Somebody puts the ball up, somebody else slams it.
Yeah. And you know, you made a really good point a second ago too, that it's somehow become acceptable in the world of journalism for a news source to put a piece out that's like 8% accurate, and then all the other news sources use that as their source. Right. They're like, according to the Observer, Straka lied about this, blah, blah, blah. And then, so it's like the fake news becomes the source.
Yes.
And then they can just write like 100 more articles based off of the fake news source. And none of them even have to come to you for a comment.
Right.
You know, it's remarkable.
Well, how did you feel about this anonymous op-ed in the New York Times that was saying that there's someone within the Trump administration trying to subvert the elected president of the United States, and they didn't even say their name?
I know. I put very little thought or energy into it. I thought it was so stupid. But see, this is the thing, like, I've come to realize, I've learned a lot from like having the experiences that I've had in the last 3 months, just from like doing the walkaway campaign and going from being like a hairstylist in New York to being like a conservative public figure.
Are you still able to do that, John?
God, no.
So how are you earning money now? Are people supporting on Patreon?
Yeah.
So it's important that people go to patreon.com/US Minority. Unsilent Minority.
Help
and make
me out.
sure it's the walkaway campaign and you on there.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, because that's primarily what I'm doing. My show. I'm working on the walkaway campaign. It's endless. I love it. I'm not complaining. But I work from 8 a.m. to 3 a.m. every day.
Wow.
And I do, but I love it. I mean, it's still not enough time. I go to bed every night, and I feel like I completed at best 25% of what needed to be done that day.
But you wake up excited to carry on this work. Yeah. I can tell it's in you, and you really want to do this, and I feel the same way.
Right.
It's important. I mean, man, we're living in a country. This is like communist China or, you know, the Soviet Union in 1970. You type a forbidden word into Facebook and you get slammed down.
Right. And it is very, very serious, and I don't for a minute want to present it as though it's not.
Right.
But I think just my nature, probably because I grew up gay and I had, you know, as a kid, I had a lot of adversity in like a small Nebraska community, farm community and stuff. Like, you have to kind of develop certain survival skills and almost just try to like enjoy your life. No matter what's going on, you just have to enjoy your life. So it's like, even when all of this stuff is going on, to a certain degree, I try to just have like some fun with it, you know, and be like, because at the end of the day, it's so weird that first of all, it's so weird that I'm a conservative now. It's so weird. I mean, if you told like me...
But it's changing. What conservatism
that's the point.
has changed.
Which is the point that I was about to make, is that it's actually really fun. And that's what I've always been my whole life. Like, I've always tried to like find the fun in everything and find like the humor in everything and not get too bogged down and like, you know, take shit too seriously. So in this weird sort of like, what's the word I want to use? Counterculture sort of way. Like, conservatism, I think, is the new counterculture. It's us that's fighting for free speech now.
Yes.
It's us that, like, when I was a liberal, it was just like, I want to listen to my rap music. Like, they're censoring our lyrics. Like, we were like fighting for free speech, you know? And like, now it's like I haven't changed. It's just the culture has changed. So now, like, I'm still like a rebel who's fighting for free speech, who's fighting against censorship, who's fighting against like, you know, fascists. And, and like they're the conservatives now. The liberals are the conservatives. It's a mind bend. But
and I shouldn't have said who cares about censoring lyrics in music, because that does matter. But it's not as sinister as directly shutting down your platform to share information that's pertinent to an election that's coming. I mean, we can see them turning the screws in every single arena, with Bob Mueller, you know, just indicting anybody who ever spoke to Donald Trump, putting pressure on them to accept plea deals. And we don't know what the details of some of these things are. He's leaking information, grand jury information to the press, the same press that lies about you, lies about other people, makes up nonsense. And they're pulling out all the stops.
Well, there aren't many stops.
No,
so they have to pull them out where they can. I mean, it's like a really bad soap opera that just like with the worst writers, and they're just like they're like, what are we gonna do? I don't know. Like, I love that this new thing now where they're like, we offered immunity to, you know, they're offering everyone immunity, so as if to suggest
immunity
well, like in the Mueller investigation, you know, they're offering all these different people who cooperate, you know, in the investigation against Trump immunity, and it's as if to suggest, well, there's something that needs to be immunized.
Well,
you know,
I think it's a colloquialism.
Yeah, it's a colloquialism to start to suggest that
we've come up with something that this person didn't even actually do, and we're going to send him to jail if he doesn't do what we want. Sorry about this siren. I'm going to try to re-add your alternate angle here while we wait for the siren to pass. There we go. It's going to start working again. So, okay, let's go back to that. So, you've got a lot of really exciting things planned, and what else can we talk about here? Because I think people get the idea. You're being suppressed on social media. I'm glad you've overcome that on Facebook. But this is what's going to happen with Alex Jones? Has he heard anything? Is his show going to be allowed to come back?
I don't know the answer to that. I mean, from what I understand, he's doing quite well. I think, I think that it's actually channeled more people to his website,
where he controls it a bit more.
I think he's doing better than ever.
Wow,
so good for him.
Well, that's good to hear.
If I'm correct, I mean, from what I understand, he was getting more hits on his website than I think he was getting with all the different platforms.
Wow.
Yeah, and good for him.
But that is good, because that's not even just like, oh, good, screw them. But it shows that people are engaged, and people realize that this is too important to let it just kind of go by the wayside and say goodbye to Alex Jones. And it also shows the people that are trying to do this suppression. What did Ole or Cody tell me? It's like a bucket of water with a running hose in it. You can try to put the lid on it, but the water is going to keep coming out.
Where did you get all these? Is this like something your dad or your grandpa? These sound like family idioms that you were.
No. That's I think Cody Snodgrass said that on September 11th the other day. So
I thought these were like Goodman family traditions.
No, but we can add them for sure. So I'm really excited that you and I are getting to know each other. Because you're working on a lot of interesting things that I definitely want to participate in. And this march in Washington, D.C., October 26th, 7th, and 8th, it's going to be a big deal. And I think you're going to get a lot of attention, not just in the type of social media networks that we're talking about, but I think you're going to create something that the mainstream will not be able to ignore.
Or refute.
And all this stuff that they're doing to try to suppress you. Will Alex Jones be there at the march?
Yep.
Great. Yeah. That's going to be a huge event.
Yeah, I think that it will. And because what it really is it's not only the walkways, and this is why it's so important. There's so many reasons why it's important to me. First of all, it's not an accident that it's right before the midterms, or what about 9-10 days before the midterms. What I want, we're telecasting it. So what I want more than anything is for throughout the country, African Americans, Hispanics, LGBT people, Jewish people. I want all these different communities that have been so slickly marketed toward by the Democratic Party, targeted by the Democratic Party, to see en masse Black people, Hispanic people, LGBT people, Jewish people, whatever, literally in a physical demonstration walking away. I want the people who aren't able to make it and watching at home to go, what are all these Black people doing? What are all these Jewish people doing? Well, they're walking away from a party, and if you don't know why, go to our website or watch our walk away videos and you'll get a better picture of why you should be joining us in this walk away from the party. We're not telling you where to go. Where's the camera? We're not telling you where to go. I'm looking at myself. Yeah. Where to go or what to do or what to think. That's exactly what we're walking away from, is groupthink and this sort of identity politics and the tribalism. We're walking away from all of that. What we're walking into is personal empowerment, individual identity, and the belief system that in America, any individual can be what they want to be and do what they want to do, that they're not destined to be a victim or part of an oppressed class of people based off of the color of their skin, their sexual orientation, or their religious affiliation, or their gender, as they like to tell women, that women are so oppressed. And
this is a great message for everyone.
Well, they need to see it. They need to see it because it's unfortunate that we are sort of at this crossroads where people need permission. But this is, I was actually speaking with a group of black conservatives last week, including Herman Cain, who I absolutely love. And this was the point that one of them made. They said, the message that you've given to people is so outstanding for so many reasons, but what you've really done is given people permission to act on a feeling that they've had for a long time. People have been uncomfortable for a long time. I was uncomfortable for years with liberalism. I was listening to people use these words that didn't make any sense. I was listening to people, restricting people in their ability to have an opinion or a conversation, or telling people that they couldn't think this or they couldn't say that. And I was like, this is weird. This is not like the social environment that I remember. I don't remember people doing this.
These are not our values.
These are not our values. And other people are feeling this way too. So many people, but they don't know that they have permission to walk away from it. Yeah. Just because your friends are saying this, maybe your parents are saying this, maybe your coworkers are saying this. If you feel like something's wrong, it probably is. And you're not alone. There's a lot of us, and we're walking away from it, and we would like you to come join us.
Dude, you have such a great message. It's unbelievable. I really feel very strongly that you are going to go extremely far with this, as far as you want to take it. So I am definitely here to support you.
I'm glad to hear you say that, because I kind of have this feeling that after November 6th, the world's going to totally forget about me. They're going to be like, who, the walkway got what?
No.
I hope not. I hope not. I hope this is something that kind of carries forward.
Yes. Yeah. Even after this election, I mean, you've got a great message. You're making huge inroads in social media. Everything you're saying is so positive and inspirational for people who are feeling these ways. That, I really hope that this is a very successful event for you in Washington, D.C.
I think it will be, and there's already a lot of people who are very interested in being a part of it and speaking at it, and and we have a lot of people already who have booked their flights, booked their hotels. They're bringing their friends. They're bringing their grandma.
When I get
yeah. I got to do it too.
Are you staying at the Trump? It's got to be expensive.
Well, they're cutting us a deal because we're doing the dinner and the.
Nice.
I saw that look on your face. You're like, how many rooms? How many cups?
Get in on the block there.
Right. Well, for those of us who are like on the team who are planning the dinner, they're gonna, I think, hook us up, and so that is where I think I'll be staying, which is kind of awesome.
There's a million hotels around there.
Correct, and Airbnb and
yeah.
And there are even people, like there's a lot of people who are on a budget, or for whom finances are a concern. And what's really cool is we see them linking up in the Walkway campaign and saying like, I can't really afford to go, but if anyone wants to share a room with me or share a car, and they're doing that, like they're arranging their own shared transportation.
This is a real grassroots movement.
Yes.
And that's what they're afraid of.
Yeah.
See, they see one guy who came up and you just made a video and put it out.
Right.
And it literally caught fire.
Yeah.
And now they're like, holy crap, shut that guy down.
Yeah. But you know what I think I did differently, that the reason why this is working so much is that I gave people a plan. I gave people a course of action that they could take, and they wanted it for a long time. And people have been feeling this way for a long time. As we said, they've I think wanted permission to break free. But after breaking free, they're like, now what? Now what do we do? But this is why I did this testimonial campaign, to give them a call to action, to tell their stories, help wake more people up. It's, you remember that shampoo commercial? And then she told two friends, and she told two friends.
What was that for?
I think Breck, Swab, I don't know.
Like
yeah. But it's kind of like that, where people are creating these testimonials, and it just bloop, 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 and then it spreads. It's like a cluster, and it reaches more people, and it reaches more people, and more people get permission, more people get the message. I mean, it just spreads out that way. And I think that's why this worked so well, is because other people have been feeling the way. I'm not the first person to say the things that I'm saying, but I think that no one else really had given people a plan. this is what you can do.
Call to action.
A call to
and the
action.
Plan absolutely did it.
Yeah.
Like you said, you were the right guy in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
And see, this is what social media can do. It's like anything, you know. It's like a gun can be a tool if you're hunting, or you can kill someone. The scissors, you could cut a pattern and make a nice piece of art, or you could stab somebody in the face with it. So social media can be weaponized against people if everyone is corralled onto a social media platform like YouTube or Facebook, and then they take control of that, and the second anybody steps out of line, they crush them like a bug.
Right.
And it's very sinister and insidious how they're doing this. You know, they just send you a little message. If you were not as tenacious as you are, and if this campaign was not as widespread as it's become, you might not have been able to recover from something like that.
Right, that's exactly right. And I think about that all the time. I mean, what happened to me is happening to tens, maybe hundreds of thousands of other people throughout the world who have a conservative point of view, but they don't have a public persona like I do, and they don't have a militia behind them of conservative followers who are willing to get their pitchforks and be like, reinstate this account, reinstate this account. I mean, that's what saved me. But what about all these poor guys who
don't have that?
They don't have that. Yeah, and they just have to be suppressed for 30 days or permanently, whatever it is. I mean, it's terrible.
Do you feel like social media has sort of, whereas at one point it was sort of this rebellious upstart antithesis to mainstream media, but now it seems like it's been co-opted by the mainstream, and they're just pushing out people like you, people like Alex Jones, suppressing Diamond and Silk, suppressing Crowdsource the Truth, forcing us to go to other platforms that are maybe less popular, like patreon.com/crowdsource the truth, and really trying to limit our reach on these social media platforms, rigging the game. It's not a level playing field.
No, it's so lame, but I mean, that's indicative, I think, of liberalism in general. It's not just, I mean, yes, it's absolutely social media and what they do, but it's ruined everything. It's ruined comedy, it's ruined entertainment, it's ruined the ability to interact with people in cities like New York without this mind-numbingly fucking robotic, ridiculous, you know, just like white privilege, I am oppressed, I am mansplaining, you are, just like, shut the fuck up. It's ruined everything, and that's why we just have to like crush this cult mentality that has swept over people. And,
Well, I'm really hopeful that we can make it through this midterm election with a positive outcome, and in my view, that would be a Republican majority in Congress, so that the president continue to carry out what I hope is a very strategically laid plan to drain the swamp. A lot of people have been frustrated that Donald Trump hasn't acted decisively yet. I'm holding out hope that he is playing this not necessarily like a 5D chess game, but a chess game where he recognizes that his first substantial challenge is to overcome this Mueller investigation and not face impeachment. I don't believe there's any legitimate grounds to impeach the president, but just as there was no legitimate grounds to remove your social media presence, we see that happening, so it's a danger. And then once he gets past that challenge, hopefully he can focus on a second term, and hopefully during that second term, I mean, a lot of people, I would like to see some action taken against some of these arch criminals before 2020, but I feel like perhaps that's what's going on, that Donald Trump recognizes that he can't just act right away because he's got one shot to do this, and if it's not taken carefully, he could miss, and that could be it.
See, and all of those things that you just described, are also important to me, and I totally agree with. But I think what's interesting is why people come to politics in the first place, what's important to them, because what caused me to start the Walkway campaign, and what caused me to actually be interested in politics the way that I am now, is culture. And like culture in everyday life, the way that it affects us every day in our everyday lives. And so I do care about all the things you're saying. I care about them very, very much. But the reason why I want to see a red tsunami in November is because I literally want to see liberalism crushed. I want to see it crushed. What I want to happen is for them to lose so badly in November that I get that there's the whole sect of them that will never get it. They're just going to say, oh my God, people are becoming more racist. they're becoming more like Hitler. But there are going to be, like, I think the other half of them that are like, this is because of us. I think like we need to like those people who are kind of on the brink of walking away anyway or having their own red pill. If they get crushed in November, there's a huge it's going to wake them up and be like, I think we're doing something wrong here.
Right.
And then in 2020 they're going to get crushed again, and then it's just going to be at that point the only people who are going to be left are the non-binary people and Ivy League educated lawyers. Those are going to be the only people left on the left are the non-binaries and like the uber educated elites.
Yeah,
because they're the most indoctrinated and insane.
But just to, I hope I'm not overreaching here, but I get a sense that you and I share the belief, we're talking in terms of liberalism and conservatism and left and right, but it's not even really so much about that. It's about you and I just want things to be on the level.
Yeah.
Don't lie. Don't
Right.
make up crap about Brandon. Don't
Right.
make up crap about me. If something happens, explain what happened.
Yeah.
Don't have these. I was speaking to two very experienced journalists last night, and they told me that this anonymous op-ed is really unprecedented because, in other words, if someone comes to you and says, hey, you know what, I'm working at this company that fires people when they find out they're gay, and don't tell my name because I don't want to lose my job, but I'm your source. You go write an article about it, call this company out, here's the CEO, here's a person who was fired, blah, 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 blah. That person is a journalistic source who needs to be protected. But when you come out and state your opinion, you don't have that same anonymous protection because how do we know this is a legitimate opinion? You're not sharing facts with us necessarily. We can't check that. And the New York Times has gone not only off the rails, but the wheels are off, the caboose is hanging out. It's totally uncharted territory, and it shows me that they're desperate. Everything that they're doing, pulling your Facebook page. I mean, Facebook is a multi-billion-dollar media international giant, unlike anything we've ever seen, and they're obviously intimidated by Brandon.
Well, I think that what's so interesting though about it is that they're not getting why what they're doing isn't working, which I think is so fascinating. The same with CNN, MSNBC, but it's like they put out these stories, calling the president a racist, calling him a bigot, whatever. And you can tell it's so obvious to those of us on the right that we see exactly what they're doing. They're trying to get us to see that he's a racist and that we're falling.
Well, trying to make us think.
Yeah, right. But when it doesn't work, then they come back the next day and they try harder.
Something different.
Yeah, but more. It's like a little more extreme, and then it's a little bit more extreme, and it's more extreme. And they're just beating their heads against the wall going, why aren't these guys getting it? Why aren't they getting it? It's like, we are getting it. We're laughing at you. Don't you understand? Like, we see what you're doing. You're the one who's not in on it. We are.
Yeah.
We're the ones who are in on the joke, and they are not. And, so, I mean, that's what I think is, like, the really bizarre thing about it is that they're just not even able to get why these tactics that they're using they're not
failing miserably. They're like the coyote with a TNT
but that's because they think we're stupid,
and then the rock falls on them.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it's like.
So tonight at 8 o'clock, you're going to be with Diamond and Silk.
People
can see you on YouTube and Facebook in what will undoubtedly be a suppressed video, so they should view it. They
the world's most
like
suppressed video,
yeah. Share it with their friends. They should go seek you out on patreon.com/US Minority, sorry. US Minority, the unsilent minority.
Yeah, because it's me. I am the unsilent minority.
I know that. And what I'll do is
I'm the gay man
who's
unsilent.
I'll paste the link into the description of the video when I get back.
Yeah.
And then tonight at 10 o'clock, you'll be on your own YouTube channel. People can watch that. Also, US Minority on YouTube.
Yeah.
Brandon Straka is my guest. #Walk Away.
Walk away.
Be there in Washington, D.C., October 26th, 7th, and 8th.
Yes.
Brandon, it is always a pleasure talking to you, my
Jason
man.
Goodwin's going to be there.
I will be there. I will absolutely be there.
All right.
It's great to see you again.
Too.
I love the message. I'm so proud of you, man. And good luck tonight with all those interviews. I want to thank everybody for watching, and we'll definitely have Brandon back very soon.
Cool.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.